Lost World War II survival hacks that outsmart modern tech. These 10 tricks still work today. When the world froze under the smoke and thunder of World War II, soldiers weren't fighting with thermostats or central heating. They battled winter itself, armed with grit, scraps, and ingenuity. Temperatures on the Eastern Front dropped below -30°C, yet men huddled in bombed-out ruins, foxholes, and icy trenches still found ways to stay alive. No fancy gadgets, no generators, just raw survival smarts. And here's the kicker. Those same forgotten heating hacks can still outperform many of today's smart systems when the power grid fails. If you call yourself a prepper, these are the secrets you can't afford to ignore. The tin can heater that refused to die. They called them Tommy cookers, but these were no cute camp toys. Picture a ration tin filled with melted wax, coiled cardboard acting as a wick, and a single match sparking hope in the cold. This was trench-born brilliance, a portable heater that burned slow and steady for hours, enough to thaw fingers, dry socks, or warm a cramped shelter. You can make one in minutes. Take a tuna can, pour in melted candle wax or paraffin, roll cardboard into tight spirals, and soak it. Once lit, it gives off steady heat without smoke or noise. In World War II, that little glow meant survival. In a blackout today, it could mean the same. Simple, quiet, unstoppable. Layer like a soldier, not a snow tourist. Here's what the men who marched across frozen Europe discovered fast. Warmth isn't about one heavy coat. It's about strategy. Soldiers mastered the art of layering wool base to hold heat even when wet, a loose mid-layer to trap air, and a rugged outer shell to block the wind. That trio could mean the difference between frostbite and another sunrise. The same rule applies at home. Ditch the bulky parka and think like a tactician. Thermal base, wool sweater, light shell. Layer smart, stay dry, and remember one golden battlefield rule. If you sweat, you freeze later. Stay dry. Stay alive. Body heat, the oldest, most reliable furnace. When the cold bit deep in the trenches, soldiers turned to the one heater no one could take away: each other. Shoulder to shoulder, they slept under shared blankets, using combined body heat to create a mini-climate of survival. They even dried socks under their coats, using their own warmth. That wasn't desperation. It was physics. When you're off-grid or facing a long blackout, this still works. Two people under one blanket generate far more heat than one alone. Layer sleeping bags, coats, or extra fabric to trap every bit of warmth. The veterans called it heat pooling. Science calls it smart. The candle lantern that could save your fingers. Frontline soldiers never underestimated a single candle. Inside a small lantern or a metal tin, one candle could raise the temperature of a jeep or tent by several degrees. A single flame meant life and morale. You can amplify this trick. Place 2 or 3 candles beneath an inverted clay or terracotta pot with a few small ventilation holes. The pot absorbs and radiates the heat like a miniature stove. It won't heat a mansion, but in a tent or small room, it's pure magic. Sometimes the smallest light really does chase away the coldest dark. The science of long-burning fires. Wartime fuel was precious. Every stick counted. Soldiers discovered that stacking damp twigs under dry wood created a slow smolder, rather than a quick flare. Mixing wood with charcoal extended burn time and reduced smoke. Modern preppers can use the same logic. Build fires with thin kindling first, then add thicker logs. Cover part of the fire with ash to choke oxygen flow just enough. The result is a slow, steady heat that lasts longer and burns cleaner. Back then, efficient fires were a matter of life and death. Today, they're the mark of a pro. Reflective heat. Don't waste a single ray. Soldiers learn to turn scrap metal, ration tins, even polished helmets into reflectors. They'd place them behind fires or lanterns to bounce heat back toward their bodies, instead of letting it escape into the cold night. You can do the same with aluminum foil or a metal tray. Set it behind your heater, candle, or small fire source. You'll instantly double your perceived warmth without burning more fuel. Smart heat isn't about more energy. It's about keeping the energy you already made. Ground insulation, the forgotten layer that saves lives. Most heat isn't lost to the air. It's stolen by the ground. Soldiers who froze overnight learned this the hard way. The survivors started laying straw, leaves, or spare clothing beneath their bedding to create a thermal barrier. It worked so well that some modern armies still teach the same method. In a cold crisis, always insulate beneath you. Even a few layers of fabric, cardboard, or emergency blankets between you and the floor can preserve core warmth. Remember, heat rises, cold seeps. Fight it from below first. Hot meals, warm hearts, steady hands. Here's a truth from the trenches. A warm meal could save a soldier's life. It wasn't just comfort. Hot food helped regulate body temperature, boosted morale, and kept frostbite at bay. When rations froze solid, troops thawed them near trench heaters or warm stones just to get a few bites of warmth. For modern survivalists, this isn't optional. Keep instant soups, oats, and dehydrated meals that come alive with a bit of warm water. Eating hot food keeps your body's internal furnace burning strong. Warm from the inside, warm from the outside. That's the secret code of survival, straight from the front lines of history. Those World War II soldiers didn't just fight a war. They fought nature, hunger, and cold with pure creativity. Their hacks weren't fancy, but they worked. And in an off-grid world, they still do. So when the temperature drops and the grid goes dark, remember the lessons that outlasted the war. Wax, wool, stones, teamwork, and fire. The timeless tools of the human spirit. If you found this guide useful, hit that subscribe button, share it with a fellow prepper, and keep your fire burning. Because history's survival code isn't just about the past, it's the blueprint for our future.